So today we're going to start talking about stoichiometry. I know we just did molar mass, and that is very necessary in order for us to do stoichiometry. So your topic on slide 5, the moles to grams step, the topic is actually Intro to Stoich or Intro to Stoichiometry. Your goal: I can convert moles to grams of one substance. In your digital notebook, you'll notice that I have this written down at the bottom. If you select, you can still type whatever you need at the top, but this will help you fill in the notes later on in your digital notebook when I am talking about that. All right, so first off, what is stoichiometry? Well, the hardcore definition is the relationship between the relative quantities of substances taking part in a reaction or forming a compound, typically a ratio of whole integers. Or in other words, stoichiometry is using multiplication and division to get from one unit to another in chemistry, specifically chemical reactions. Units you need to know for this: moles is MOL, mass is, we're going to be talking about it in grams, which is a G, and then molar mass is always grams over moles or grams per mole. So here are the overall steps in solving stoichiometry. I do want you guys to go ahead and write it out for this, but know that this works for every type of stoichiometry we will be doing. For step 1, look at the problem and reaction and label what you are given and what you are looking for. So look at your question, figure out what they give you, and then figure out what your goal is. What do they need to know? What are you looking for? And remember, I'm not pausing for you guys to write because you guys can pause it for as long as you need to. So after I finish a slide, hit that pause button so you can type it out, and then you can press play whenever you're ready for the next one. Step 2, make railroad tracks. I will typically have the railroad tracks made for you, but if they're not made, you will need to make them. In this first box, you start with you are given. The diagonal box always has the same unit, so those units cross out. You stop when the top box has the same unit as what you're looking for. I know in words it's kind of hard to visualize what I'm talking about, but once you have this typed out and we talk through actual examples, hopefully you'll be able to understand what this is saying. Step 3, multiply the numbers on the same row, then divide the top row from the bottom row. Now that we have the general rules of how to do stoichiometry, we are going to do the moles to gram one step. You do need to write down what's underlined for this section, and these are different steps. So you could put them in paragraph form or bullet form. If for some reason you have run out of room for notes, which you probably will, you're welcome to make a new text box somewhere on this slide. You can make a new slide and make the whole thing a text box, and whatever you need to do to fit all the information in, but it is all important. So the first thing you need to do is write down what they give you. You put the units. The same unit goes in the diagonal box or diagonally. The molar mass always goes with grams, and a 1 goes with the mole. And then I want you to write down this example. If we have 2 moles of O2, how many grams do we have? If you have not written down what's underlined, go ahead and pause and do that before we start this example. That way you can work through the example with me. So here I'm going to work out this example. You'll notice you have this exact thing in the bottom of your notes section. So you should already have this example written down. So I want you to work through this example with me and put it in your notes as well. So here it says we have 2 moles of O2. So here we're going to put what they give us, which is 2 moles O2. And again, to make something a subscript, I have learned a little quick way if we've not already talked about it. If you hit Control, comma, it makes it a subscript. So since this unit is mole of O2, this diagonal box is going to have that same unit of mole of O2. Since this is mole of O2 and this is the last box up top, the unit we put there is always going to be what you're looking for. So since it's the last box, we are looking for grams of O2. So here our unit's going to be grams of O2. If you ever see grams and moles on the same part right here, this is when you follow this rule. The molar mass goes with grams, and the number 1 goes with the moles. So here's our mole. So I'm going to put a 1 right there. Now for grams, here we have to do the molar mass. So over on this side, I'm going to find the molar mass of O2 because that's what we're talking about. So we have oxygen. We have 2 of them. So we'll do 2 times the mass. So if you look here, oxygen has a mass of 15.999. So 2 times 15.999 equals 15.999 times 2 is 31.998. So 31.998. So that's what's going to go with the grams. Make that text box a little bit bigger. There we go. Fix that right quick. There we go. So 31.998 is what goes in this box. So now that we have this filled out, we are going to multiply the top and the bottom. So here we will do 2 times 31.998. So 31.998 times 2 is 63.996. So 63.996. Now, we divide it by what's on the bottom. In this case, the only thing in the bottom is a 1. So it'll be 63.996 divided by 1, which we know is just 63.996. And your answer will be grams of O2, because that's what we're looking for right here, is grams of O2. Okay. Any questions on how I got this answer, please let me know. I'll be happy to help you all since I'm not here for this video in person. And virtual kids, you all know you're always welcome to reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you. For this is how you do your examples on your next slide. So you will follow this exact step of how I did this practice problem here, the one that you put your notes in your digital notebook. You need to fill this in. So if you get stuck on a problem, I would recommend coming back and walking through this example again. See if that helps you. If it doesn't, then contact me. I'll be happy to help help you work through that problem together.